We spend the first half building our lives, building our families, building our homes and careers. And then in the second half, we start letting all of that go. Some of it by choice, but not all of it. And I'm not just talking about the physical things like downsizing our house and downsizing our things. I'm talking about deeper things. So in the second half, pretty much everything we've spent our lives building slowly starts to go away. And that kind of leaves us in this abyss of the unknown, I guess. I'm really facing that right now. A lot of things are happening all at once. I'm in what I would call the pre-retirement stage. I'm in the pre-empty nest stage. I am in the pre-physical decline stage. All of these things have started to happen. And I don't hear a lot of people talk about some of those deeper emotional things and physical things in our bodies and mind that start happening. I hear a lot about, downsizing our home. I did a video about that. Moving into a tiny home, or an apartment. Downsizing, packing up all my stuff and getting rid of it all. Well, I want to go deeper than that today. I want to talk about some of those other life-changing things that we experience in this time in our lives, in the second half. So our homes and our possessions, those are the obvious things. Our income, our health, all of those are obvious. And those things get talked about quite frequently. But what about the loss of a career and how that affects us? So many of us spent decades building our careers. I know I did. And this may be a little more prevalent for men because I think they get a lot more of their identity from their career, whereas women tend to get a lot of our identity from our family. And both of those things are on a path of decline in this stage in our lives. In fact, they eventually go away entirely. And that does something to us that goes much deeper than the loss of the job itself or the loss of the home. What scares me is not being able to necessarily provide if I'm in a pickle, Maybe you planned really well, and so you're going to do great in retirement. But what if something goes awry? And, it's not like when we were younger where we just go on Indeed and we start applying for jobs and we work for a while and we get ourselves out of a pinch. Well, we kind of lose that ability in this stage in our lives. Sure, some people go out and work as they're aging, but let's face it, the opportunities are few. They're certainly not what they used to be. They're not at the career level for sure. So we lose not only our job, but we lose that overall ability, that financial security that we have to support ourselves, to go out and make a living if we need to. And sure, if you planned appropriately with retirement, you should be doing fine. But things still come up. Some people get very serious health issues that wipe out their retirement. And then they have to look at other options. But that loss of independence, that loss of capability goes away. And that's huge. And it's scary. And I don't like it. And I'm sure there's some of you who feel the same way. But the biggest loss for me as a woman is the loss of family and my identity as an active mother. I know I'm still a mother and I know I'm still active, but there's something different about it now. I don't have children running through my house laughing and sometimes arguing and screaming and making awful noises and mud and dirt and all those other things that they bring through. But there's something very beautiful about that, and it's my normal. I was raising kids since I was 19, and my youngest is only 19 now. So I've been raising kids for 40 years. I don't really know anything else. It's been pretty much my whole life other than childhood. So now, as my kids are getting their own lives and moving on, who am I and what is my value? Because that was always my value in the past. A quiet home is something I wished for many decades. But now that it's coming to fruition, it is not a pleasant thing. In fact, it leads me to a place of confusion and helplessness and not knowing where to go from here. It's easy when we're talking about a house and downsizing a house, or packing up our things and downsizing our things. That's easy because there's a process for that, right? We put it in a box and we take it somewhere and we adapt. No big deal. But when you've spent your whole life nurturing, loving, raising up, and building your children's world, your family's world, and that goes away, then you're kind of just left with an empty house. No matter how much you downsize, you're still in an empty house. You still haven't fixed the problem, which is the missing of that life that you had for so many years. Your normal, your routine, your planning, your future. You know, I spent my days planning birthday parties and holidays and weekends and dinner and scheduling. And now it's all gone. And then you take away the job and the house and the things, and it can be very confusing. That also brings up the loss of belonging and in a community. When you're in a family unit, you're in a community. When you're in your career and your job, you're in a community. You feel this sense of belonging, like you're interconnected to something larger than yourself. And when that gets taken away, so does that sense of community and belonging. Now, we can get some of that back by joining clubs, by joining churches, by volunteering, which is what a lot of people in retirement do, and those are all wonderful ideas. But still, there's the loss of what we've known for so many years, for so many decades. And that is a real thing. What about our aging bodies? Well, I certainly don't look like I did when I was younger. I had a perfect figure. We used to call it a hard body when I was younger, when we were trying to get fit. With that, it's not just about the physical appearance. It's about the confidence, like feeling like we can look the way we want to look or have the appearance that we want to have. Well, in some cases, that's taken away from us. And that's okay because I'm not a vain person and I don't need to look perfect all the time. My goodness, I come on here with, my nails not done and I've come on here with no makeup and, it's not that I have to look good all the time or feel like I look good all the time. It's just about knowing that you can't go back to that place, that it's gone for good, that it's been taken away from you and removed. And so your new identity is trying to fit in this new body, a new body that sometimes doesn't look the way we want it to, a new body that fails and doesn't work the way we want it to, a new body that doesn't have the same endurance that we once had, and we definitely have an increase in fatigue, and then maybe medical issues start creeping in, and we lose confidence in our bodies. We lose confidence in our health and the stability of it. And that's a scary thing. That's different. That's a great loss. In fact, that's probably one of the hugest ones, because without that functioning body, we can't really do what we want to do. It's kind of like having a car and it's getting older and it's starting to rust and it's not running as well as it used to. And you want to go on this long drive, right? Your head wants to go, but your car's not going to get you there. It's just not going to make it. Well, maybe it'll make it a certain distance and you settle for that, but you never know. You never know when it's going to break down because it's old and it doesn't work like it used to. Now, throw in, like a health problem, but a car issue, like maybe the motor goes out, and boom, your car's sitting in the backyard, not moving. And that's what we're looking at. That is not fun. That is a major downsize to our lives and not something that is good, That is a grieving downsize. Let's just call it that. So with all these things, our bodies, our careers, our families, all these things that we're losing and downsizing in, it's like this heavy weight. And I'm not done. There's more. What about friendships? What about loved ones not being there anymore? People move on. They move away. Maybe they go into assisted living. Maybe they go live with their children, so they have to move away. Maybe they pass away. I mean, at this age, we're starting to see that. I'm starting to see that a lot. And in my circle. And it's very sobering. And it makes you reflect on all these things we're talking about, because that's what we're facing. That's our reality now. We're not just looking at carpools and barbecues. We're looking at bigger things. We're looking at things that we didn't build. We're looking at things that are being taken away from us. I think the biggest commonality in all of this is that we lose our purpose. We lose our usefulness, whether that is for our families or for ourselves or for our career. We lose our confidence in our ability to provide for others or ourselves. We lose our confidence in our physical decline. We lose our confidence in where our lives are headed. And in all that, our dreams get taken away. Our hope gets taken away. Because we're not in the building stage anymore. When we were building, hope and dreams were at the other end of that. We were building toward that. We had a dream of that beautiful house on that perfect street, that perfect job that would solve all of our financial problems, that perfect relationship, that perfect family, all those dreams, and all of the hope that we could attain them because we had all this time, right? We weren't thinking about the decline. We were thinking about the incline. We were building. Well, now, when we're thinking about the decline in every one of those categories, we can lose hope. And we can feel hopeless to dream. Okay, so this isn't all doom and gloom. I've said this before, but in my life right now, I'm feeling all this for sure. I'm in the pre-stages and I'm scared. I'm not even quite there yet in the full decline, but I know it's coming and it's coming quick. Like daily, I see differences in every one of these categories. Today, I'll be packing things up and I will be taking some things to the donation shop and my storage. So I'm living it. But I think the solution is not to just sit there, not to just let it take us away into this declining abyss. I think the solution is reinventing ourselves. That's a whole nother video. But it's doable. We have to take back that hope. We have to take back those dreams, because there is enough time for those, and we can hope and dream until the bitter end, because maybe it just changes a little bit what you're dreaming for and what you're hoping for. You know, there's something that's really sad knowing, well, I won't ever buy a house again, you know, because I don't really need one. I don't have that whole group with me. Or I won't ever have a career again. Well, you know, most times are definitely over. But I can create a home wherever I'm at. I can create a home if I lived in my car. I wouldn't like it, but I could. I could dream. I could dream about, you know, smaller things, like maybe getting an adjustable bed. I don't know. But there's things we could dream about. Maybe looking forward to fall and getting your mums on your front porch. And if you can't do that, then when you go to the grocery store, you stop and you pick one up in the floral department and you put it on your table, you know. You could dream about just bringing in a snippet of fall into your home, lighting a candle, having a relaxing evening. Our dreams just get smaller and they change. Our goals get smaller. Maybe your goal for today is just to, you know, do a few laps in the driveway. Maybe your goal for today is to get out and go get some groceries. Get out of the house. Stop calling delivery. Go pick up your things yourself just to get you out of the house. You know, little things like that. No, I'm not going to ever have my house full of laughing toddlers. I'm not going to ever have to get people off to school again. But there's other things out there. So there's this shift. There's this period of evolving. And it's different. And it's scary. And I don't like that I had to leave all those things behind. I like leaving the job behind, but I don't like leaving the ability to go back. I think that's the scary part, you know? Leave the job, but cutting myself off knowing that's the bitter end, man. It's going to be tough to get back in. I'll never get back in that career part. Maybe I'll be a Walmart greeter or something. But, you know, that's a huge loss. That's a huge downsize. It's tough. So let's acknowledge it, but let's not absorb it all as if it's all of who we are, because we evolve. Just like we buy new houses or, you know, and we move jobs, and we've changed the decor in our house, and all those changes in our lives. This is just another one. And we have to figure out how to navigate it. What is the hardest thing you've ever faced on this list? I mean, for me, it's the family. It's just the hardest part, being that active mom. It's hard. I miss it. I miss it terribly. Yet, I'm trying new things, trying to find new ways to connect, like being here on YouTube, doing things I always wanted to do. And I hope that for you. I hope that you can find your thing and you can motivate yourself and not get in a, you know, a frump of helplessness. So that's it. Wow, that was heavy. Heavy, but with a good outcome, right? We've got to face reality. We can't push it aside and push it under the rug and just say, I don't want to think about it. My goodness, I know enough people in my life who've said that. Let's not think about it. Well, that's not healthy. That's not healthy at all. Because if you don't think about it, you can't change it. You have to acknowledge it to identify the issue and the pain. And that can help fuel your persistence to get to where you want to be. All right, thanks for listening to me ramble again. And set a goal for yourself and make it happen.